I am a proud shitholer. My family was called wops and mackerel eaters. I'm proud of that. We came when people from Ireland and Italy were seen as dirty people, dirty Catholics who didn't belong in a Protestant country. Shitholers built this country 110 years ago. They were called slopers and slant eyes. Chinese people who built this country.
Hey, pause again. They're literally, and if you want to try to go to China at that time, they'd kill you. Everybody was tribal, and there was huge groups, and the media hypes it up bigger than it was. I mean, most of the people in my family intermarried with Native Americans and stuff. But again, this is a little race-baiting film out of the CIA and the former head of counterintelligence brought in by Mueller. This is an enemy of the country. Up here invoking every racial slur he can to make everyone hate the president like he was there 100 years ago being mean to somebody. We're back live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Alex Jones, and I intend on opening the phones up. Coming up a little bit later in the broadcast, we're going to have the start of the next hour. Joining us for the transmission, the head of Project Veritas, James O'Keefe, who had the #1 news story yesterday on Google, Facebook, Twitter, their infiltration of Twitter with their executives admitting we censor all conservatives, we censor WikiLeaks, we censor anything nationalistic. We have AI computers now coming in to end all their free speech where they can't even talk to each other. They think that they're talking to each other, but we block them with all humans and only let them talk to bots. Well, this is what they already do to Democrats. That's in the Facebook documents that came out last year. It's criminal. They have bots that where almost all your friends are bots. They then get your mind thinking over the years into a certain thing. Then they put you into a trough of real people who have all now been programmed, and then now you're self-fulfilling, but then there are still bots that herd you and control you and keep you on the reservation. Why would anyone want to be part of mind control like that? And then certain real people are then recruited by Facebook because the computer profile shows they're anti-free speech, they're vicious, they're hateful, they have total cognitive dissonance. Nothing will reach them. Nothing will help them. They will never listen to facts. Black unemployment could be the lowest ever as it is. You know, Donald Trump could, find the cure for cancer. He's always bad. They then get recruited to be moderators for no money who then go around censoring, and the really good ones then get paid. And that's all on video, and that's all in the documents. Facebook, Google, YouTube, Twitter, you name it. And, you know, we expose Seal coming out and saying that Oprah Winfrey's a horrible person that brought women to be pimped by Weinstein. He's credible. You know, very good guy, good background, one of the biggest selling artists ever, black guy, African, and don't call me a European or whatever, comes from Africa, whatever, just a person. And he's the worst ever, see? And so you'd think that'd be a viral video about Seal coming out, but no, you can't share it. You have to actually go find it on my channel to even see it. And it's the same thing they do with every video that's powerful. They just shut it down. And that's why they can't stand Fox News, despite all its problems, is it doesn't go along 100% with the other establishment channels. It was for about the last, going back about 6 months ago, a year before that, in the previous year before that, with the end of the election, about 6 months in, they were pretty anti-Trump. But that hurt their ratings. They lost half their viewers. They went, whoa, this is too crazy. We're going back the way we were. And they flipped back to, hey, Trump's going to win. We're not going to be able to get rid of him. Sorry. Which just shows you how opportunistic the Rupert Murdochs are. But at the end of the day, most globalists have so many hundreds of billions of dollars, they don't even care. They'd lose a lot of that money just to get rid of Trump and be in control. For the Murdochs, when it didn't work, they were so opportunistic, they at least went back to quitting. Which shows, I don't think they're pure evil then. A little more pragmatic, which is better than pure evil any day of the week. So that's why I have been so angry about this, is that to watch the Clintons rob Haiti, to watch all this go on, to watch them ship kids out of the country, to watch everything they've done, the Clintons back when he was president and right through, robbing it, looting it, stealing all the aid money with the IMF and World Bank, not just the, the donations. And I've given huge donations and funded aid missions and sent reporters in and exposed it. And I'm not going, I'm goody two-shoes. It's just that to sit there and be criticized as a libertarian, as a Christian, as a conservative by MSM, And to see Trump being criticized when all he's been doing is trying to help Haiti. And to see the massive aid that went into Puerto Rico and the media lie and say he doesn't like Hispanics because he didn't help Puerto Rico when that was all a fraud. It's just to see them push the tyranny and push the lies on and 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 on. And to have all the CNN panels unloading, calling him a racist, and Don Lemon and all these idiots, and Phil Mudd. Phil Mudd, formerly of the CIA, said he wanted the president dead and he should die soon. Said, I'm a proud SH-Holer. So you don't, oh, that's my other big challenge. Phil Mudd, if he loves third world crap holes, according to the English Oxford Dictionary, meaning a third world place without plumbing, Haiti, the Oxford Dictionary says that if Trump even said this, he's correct, but they don't care. He says he's a proud S-holer. Well, but you're never going to see, you're going to never see him move to Haiti. You're never going to see Don Lemon or Bill Clinton or any of these people. They just use it as a third world hellhole where they as vampires can come in and feed as much as they want, as long as they want, as hard as they want. And I'm not mad, but I thought all these clips were bleeped. And we played Lemon earlier, and he said the cuss word. I'm not going to do what CNN does. It's no big deal. But is our Phil Mudd clip bleeped? It is. Let's play Phil Mudd, CNN analyst. I'm a proud bleep holer with the idiot Don Lemon. Here it is.
Are you shocked or surprised by this?
I'm not surprised. In one way, I'm proud. I am a proud holer. My family was called wops and mackerel eaters. I'm proud of that. We came when people from Ireland and Italy were seen as dirty people, dirty Catholics who didn't belong in a Protestant country. Holers built this country 110 years ago. They were called slopers and slant eyes. Chinese people who built this country.
Hey, pause again. They're literally, and if you want to try to go to China at that time, they'd kill you. Everybody was tribal. And there was huge groups, and the media hypes it up bigger than it was. That's, I mean, most of the people in my family intermarried with Native Americans and stuff. But again, this is a little race-baiting Phil Mudd of the CIA and the former head of counterintelligence brought in by Mueller. This is an enemy of the country. Up here invoking every racial slur he can to make everyone hate the president like he was there 100 years ago being mean to somebody. Oh, and by the way, I'm not against Catholics. They're great people, but the cities Catholics took over. If you weren't Catholic, you weren't getting a job either. This is what people do until the American system changed it more than anybody else. They're now attacking the American system as if we're the worst in the world, but not Foxconn Laboratories, not slave labs, not genetic engineering, not robbing Haiti. It's these monsters that rob everybody, like Mudd, who's failing and who is a filth and who's very close to going to prison with his friends like Mueller, who doesn't know what to do. Let's go back to him.
It's from Japanese internment camps.
Hit pause again. It was Franklin Delano Roosevelt that put some of the Japanese in internment camps. It's the Democrats again. Again, if you know history, it's Eisenhower. It's the Republicans that did the Civil Rights Act. It's the Republicans that were against slavery. You sack of garbage. But again, everything you say is a lie, but you think the viewers are idiots. And they are. They're a bunch of racists, whites, blacks, Hispanics, you name it, that tune into CNN for their race narrative, and they all hate white people in general. They are the racists, because the KKK was founded by the Democrats.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
You're a white male! You're a white man!
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Criminal elements inside the government, the deep state, are working with the media with fake news and fake leaks to try to undermine Trump's recovery. That's really the big news.
A soft coup is underway right here in the United States of America in an attempt to overturn November's election results and forcibly remove a duly elected president from office. Sinister forces quickly aligning in what is becoming now in my mind, a clear and present danger.
When you see leaders on the left calling for essentially rising up and they allow for Antifa to do all the violence that they do, and then you have the beheading of the president virtually by Kathy Griffith, and this play where the President Trump is killed, and you have a certain percentage of the population who's going to buy into that, who become completely desensitized, become completely radicalized, and act.
A gunman opened fire when members of Congress and their staffs.
In the hours after 5 people were shot, including the House Majority Whip, you sent out a tweet that said, "Hunt Republicans." I mean, it was clearly a reference to the assassination attempt against Congressman Scalise. It's hard to imagine how you could justify writing something like that.
For too long, Republicans in this country have failed to distinguish the differences between politics and war. And a lot of Democrats have failed to see the similarities. So you guys either have to tone down the rhetoric or we have to step up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have so much proof of the Democrats saying, overthrow Trump, use COG, kill him, kill his supporters, cancel the last election, remove the Republicans that were elected in the last 2016 election. I mean, I've got the mainstream articles here where they're pushing it.
Here in America, we're at a turning point tonight with forces now forming an alliance to try and remove President Trump from office. It's that serious.
The left-wing media is out to get him. They are out to nullify an election for the first time.
America is now suffering from a massive informational crisis because, I call them the Destroy Trump media, has routinely been exposed now. Agenda-driven, propagandist, more than happy to push debunked tinfoil hat conspiracy theories.
Sean Hannity is currently the main leader of the resistance against the globalist outside of Trump, and then, of course, myself. But I am more grassroots, and I'm more frontline, being demonized, being attacked. It's my job to get the intel out, to take the main attack, to draw the enemy fire, so that we understand exactly what we're dealing with.
You've got the Destroy Trump media that has been lying to you now, provable lies for 11 months, nonstop. Trump, Russia, collusion. No evidence whatsoever.
The Russians, in my opinion, could not have known how best to weaponize that information unless they had been guided. And they began to have some of their allies within the internet world, like InfoWars, take out pieces and began to say the most outrageous, outlandish, absurd lies you can imagine.
You have RT, you have Sputnik, you have Rupley, and then I think you have them feeding other entities. InfoWars comes to mind, where those are echo chambers.
The way that the left is going about trying to demonize the president, essentially justify and ignore the violence on their side, and then reinforce that with a complete, the imagery of death being acceptable, Kathy Griffith using the beheaded image of the president. All these things are the same way ISIS goes about radicalizing and recruiting people to become terrorists.
This is unprecedented, to have a president that behaves this way. Can anyone go back in history?
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
It's a sad day when you cannot depend on the president's word. And my advice would just be to Republicans who do cozy up to him, it's just like hugging a suicide bomber.
He's not a tough guy. He's a bully and he's a bitch.
He's a punk. He's a dog. He's a pig.
And he can suck my
He's a con, a bullshit artist, a mutt.
I'll meet him in a hotel room any day of the week and give him a Louisville Slugger.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
Kiss my mother ass, you bitch punk sucker.
Pointing what appears to be a water gun at the image of President Donald Trump projected on a whiteboard, art teacher Pale Modi has now been seen by countless viewers across the internet.
Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
It's an actor dressed to look just like President Donald Trump as he's assassinated on stage.
Pictures and video depicting comedian Kathy Griffin holding the bloody, decapitated head of President Trump are no joking matter for the Secret Service.
The rhetoric
that has inspired the violence has come from the mainstream of the Democratic Party.
They're involved in the coup, an active attempt to start a bloody civil war.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.